The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to this first episode of April 2024. Today, of course, is being April 2nd, 2024. On this gloomy, almost rainy day in Sevier County, Tennessee. We're here an hour early because later today, in fact, after Sports Bar, I'll be joining Simply Predicting with Noah Foster and whoever shows up to make our official predictions for WrestleMania 40, which comes up this Saturday and Sunday. It's finally here. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific is our official coverage of Night 1 and Night 2 on Sunday. Night 2, of course, is bigger. Night 1 has Night 2 complications and interactions and everything ready to go. As always in the sports bar, if you want my attention, if you want me to stop dead in my tracks as I'm giving as many statistics as I can, super chat, super chat, super chat. It's as simple as that. I will immediately stop what I'm doing. I will acknowledge you, which has been happening a lot lately. I'll answer your question to the best of my ability. Big Baller G saying 4 more days. I can't frickin' wait. Honest to God, neither can I. Spoiler alert, Cody finished the story, please. That's all I'm going to say on that. Call it a bit of a teaser, a teaser and the appetizer, as of course the main event comes up in a couple hours. In the meantime, we're in the sports bar. I've got stats, I've got sports, I've got news, and I'm going to start it all off with PGA golf. The Houston Open took place this weekend in Houston, Texas. Your winner is Steven Jaeger. Maybe he had a shot at Jaeger for winning.
God, I hope not.
Hey, you never know.
That shit's nasty.
With a name like now, when you mix Jaeger with what do they have it with? Monster? It tasted pretty good, actually.
When you mix Jaeger with Monster, you get a monster nasty as opposed to just a regular nasty. That's how that works.
He's so good. This story taken from PGA.com and the Associated Press. Steven Jaeger won his first PGA Tour event in his 135th attempt, closing with 9 straight pars for a 3 under 67 and avoiding a playoff when Scottie Scheffler missed a 5-foot birdie putt on the final hole Sunday. Scheffler was trying to become the first player in 7 years to win 3 straight starts on the PGA Tour, which he has won the last 2. He was going for the 3-peat. And he was right there with a chance. He 2-putted for birdie from 20 feet on the par 5 16th and missed from 12 feet for birdie on the 17th. His 5-foot birdie putt to force a playoff missed to the left. Scheffler had to settle for a 68 and a runner-up finish. Jaeger, a 34-year-old German who came to high school in Tennessee when he was 16, earned his first trip to the Masters with the victory. He is also in the remaining 4 $20 million signature events this season. As, of course, you are trying to be in the top 72 to earn entry into the FedEx Cup, and our top 10, of course, Scottie Scheffler is still the number 1 player at 2,465 points. Wyndham Clark's at 1,555. Hideki Matsuyama at 1,220. Xander Schauffele at 1,217. Sahith Theegala at 1,103. Matthew Pavon at 987. Bjorn Hun An at 948. Chris Kirk at 916. Ludwig Aberg at 893. And Nick Taylor rounds out the top 10 at 818. The PGA Tour stays in Texas for the Valero Texas Open, and then the following week, one of the big 4 when it comes to golf, and that is the Masters, where you're going for that iconic green jacket. Tiger Woods won his, I think it was 10 or 15 years ago. It was in the late 2000s where he got his last green jacket. So in a way, you can say that the Masters could be the WrestleMania of golf, or maybe the Royal Rumble, because it's the Masters, it's the U.S. Open, and it's the FedEx Cup Championship at the end of the season.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways you can. I mean, the Masters I think a Masters is one of those like separate things. Like if you've not heard of anything else in golf, you've heard of the Masters.
Oh yes,
kind of like WrestleMania. So.
All right, the ladies took over the course in Gilbert, Arizona for the Ford Championship. And your winner, we actually have a potential 3-peat coming up in ladies golf. Nelly Korda wins again. This is her second win on the LPGA Tour. This story comes from LPGA.com and is written by Sarah Kellum. You can find her at Sarah Kellum on social media. She is a Kentucky native and played collegiate golf at North Kentucky University. She currently serves as a manager of digital content and works as a freelance content creator. Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings #1, Nelly Korda looked unstoppable on Sunday at the Ford Championship presented by KCC. After picking up her 10th career LPGA Tour last week at the Fur Hills Seri Pak Championship in a playoff, she ran it back this week at the Seville Golf Course, firing a bogey-free 765 to earn her third straight victory on the LPGA Tour, winning by 2 shots over rookie Hira Naveed on a dreary day in the desert. With the victory, the 25-year-old Florida native becomes the first player since Arya Jutanagarn in 2016 to win in 3 consecutive starts on the LPGA Tour, and is the first American to do so since Nancy Lopez won 5 straight events in 1978. Of course, the ladies are doing their version of the FedEx Cup. They call it the CME Globe. Nelly Korda has a good 500-point lead at 15:52, with Lydia Ko at 10:39, Ayaka Fiore at 7:27, Patty Tavana-Tonakit at 6:23, Sarah Schmelzel at 5:77, Brooke M. Henderson at 5:72, Hannah Green at 5:44, Bailey Tardy at 500, Mi Hyung Lee at 4:67, and Celine Boutier at 4:50. Now, coming up next week, T-Mobile is sponsoring the T-Mobile Match Play Tournament. It's a combination of standard golf and match play. Standard golf, of course, is everybody plays, you play your own score, lowest score wins. That's going to take place for round 1, 2, and part of round 3. Wednesday and Thursday, the top 65 advance. They play Friday, then only the top 8 advance. On the final weekend, being Saturday morning, those are the quarterfinals. Saturday afternoon is the semifinals. Then finally on Sunday, the last 2 go at it head to head. What is match play? Match play is easy. Win the hole straight out. Doesn't matter how many strokes your total score is, you have to win the hole. So for example, if Jeff and I ever play golf together and he birdies the hole and I don't birdie the hole, he wins the hole. He's 1 up. I would then have to win the next hole to make the match even. If I win the next hole after that, I'm 1 up. We go back and forth until it becomes mathematically impossible for the match to be over. So if Jeff and I are at the 16th hole and I'm up 3 and I win the 16th hole, Jeff can't win the match. I win the tournament. However, he can still win the last 3 holes and force a playoff. The best way to also show how match play can work is if you watch the classic Sean Connery movie Goldfinger. There is a scene in there where Bond challenges Goldfinger to a round of golf for a bar of gold. They play under strict rules of golf, but they also play match play. So that's how that's going to happen. Winner takes, of course, the big prize.
And the best thing to remember, folks, it's always better to have less strokes than trying to win a hole. Always.
Indeed.
As few strokes as possible to own that hole. That's right.
Exactly. I mean,
absolutely.
If you're playing by yourself, and
oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you for that gift. I was going that way, and you just freaking sent it in overdrive. I appreciate you.
I thought about it. Golf is such a dirty sport.
Week, folks. Oh shit. Okay. Anyway.
Golf is such a dirty sport because you just.
Dude, you forget who raised me. I can make anything an innuendo. Like, come on now. So,
speaking of innuendos.
Well, I did say if he wasn't on time, I wasn't going to admit him into the area, but I'll be nice today because I'm in a good mood.
Let him in. What's up, DJ?
Morning. Good morning. Hello, my friend.
Good morning. It's 6:00 in the afternoon.
Well, I'm in a new area now, as you can tell. I moved.
Yes.
I moved out of New Orleans, so.
Well, this is shocking news. Where are you at?
A little bit different. I'm about an hour away. I'm closer to the state capital now.
Oh,
but you're still in the same time zone, so it's still 6:00 in the afternoon.
Well, the internet's. I'm in the middle of nowhere in sticks, so the internet is not great.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so you're near my son's mother. Got it. Okay, middle of nowhere.
BFE, as we call it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
In the deep, deep, dirty South. All right. Well, from hitting one ball into a hole, let's talk to hitting another ball over a net and into someone else's area. How about that? You missed a great conversation there, DJ. Good thing, too.
Have fun, boys.
Thank you, sir. All right. The ATP, the Miami Open in Miami, Florida, by soon-to-be new number one player. He's getting up there. He already leads in the race to turn for the top 8, but Jannik Sinner is on a tear, and he proved his dominance in the Miami Open. So let's bring up ATP.com and let's give the story. Sinner shines to storm to Miami title. Italian will rise to number 2 overall. Of course, number 1 is still the Joker, Novak Djokovic. It was third time lucky for Jannik Sinner at the Miami Open presented by Ital on Sunday when the Italian defeated Gregor Dimitrov 6-3, 6-1 to win his first trophy at the hardcourt event and his second ATP Masters 1000 crown overall. The Italian suffered final defeats in South Florida in 2021 and 2023, but has shown he is a different beast in 2024, entering Sunday's final holding a 21-1 record on the year. High in confidence, Sinner ensured history did not repeat itself on Sunday, producing a clean and aggressive performance to clinch his third title of the season after 1 hour and 14 minutes. Of course, again, they are racing to Turin. The top 8 are in. Jannik Sinner is already at 3,900 points on the season, so he's pretty much in cruise control right now. Unless something major happens, I strongly see him finishing in the top 4. Daniil Medvedev's at 2,550, Alexander Zverev at 1,835, Carlos Alcaraz is at 1,700, Alex de Minaur at 1,495, Gregor Dimitrov at 1,465, Andre Rublev at 1,060, and Sebastian Baez is tied at 1,060. Now, remember, these 8 players are going for the Tour Championship. They are not the overall championship or the overall rankings. Number 1 is still the Joker, hands down, Novak Djokovic. Those will come up eventually. Moving on with the ladies, as they also played in Miami as well. We had a new winner here. Danielle Collins is our 2024 Miami Open winner. Let me bring up the story about her. Taken from WTA, of course. Collins takes down Rybakina in Miami to win first WTA 1000 title. In the midst of her final season on tour, unseeded American Danielle Collins captured the highest level title of her career on Saturday, prevailing on home soil by toppling number 4 seed Elena Rybakina 7-5, 6-3 to win the WTA 1000 Miami Open. In an intense 2-hour and 2-minute display of power hitting by both players, 30-year-old Collins toughed out the win to take home her third career WTA singles title, her maiden WTA 1000 title, and her first title at any level since 2021. So congratulations to her. Of course, the remaining top 8 are racing to the WTA finals. Iga Swiatek is still your number 1 ranked player at 3140. Elena Rybakina at 26.93, Arina Sabalenka at 25.20, Qin Wen Zheng at 17.85, Coco Gauff right behind her at 17.65, Yelena Ostapenko at 15.53, Danielle Collins at 15.22, and Jasmine Paolini at 14.72.
Can you imagine being on a court for 2 hours?
I've seen it longer.
I've seen it longer too, but can you imagine like us going out there and playing, just like going straight back and forth with power for 2 hours? Oh man.
Yeah, the last time I played tennis was in college, and classes only lasted about an hour, but you were on the courts at least 3 times a week, and matches only lasted like 1 set. So 6 games. So you're out there, and believe me, you're working. But other than that, no, I don't think I could do it because I'm out of shape. If round is a shape, then that's it. I mean, yeah, I can stand there and hit the ball. I mean, with enough practice, I think anybody can hit a tennis ball. But there is no way that I'm going to keep up that stamina for 2 hours. I would be lucky if I made it through 3, 4, 5 games, let alone a full set. And I mean, with serves being hit at nearly 100 miles an hour, you blink, you're gonna miss every time. So, I mean, tennis players are no joke
at all.
They have excellent stamina and all that. I don't have that very much, but it's fun to watch, and sure it is. All righty, we move on to Richmond, Virginia in NASCAR, where the NASCAR Cup Series is continuing. And this race was the Toyota Owners 400. And ironically, a Toyota wins the race. Denny Hamlin in his number 11 Toyota steals the win in overtime on Easter night. This story comes from NASCAR.com. Denny Hamlin's number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Team gave him a clutch pit stop to emerge with the lead out of the pits, and then was able to hold the advantage on a 2-lap overtime shootout to claim the Toyota Owners 400 victory Sunday at Richmond Raceway, his home track. It was Hamlin's 53rd career NASCAR Cup Series win, second of the season, and 5th victory at the 3/4 mile oval. A 0.269 second margin of victory over Team Penske's Joey Logano, and it came at the expense of his JGR teammate Martin Truex Jr., who finished 4th despite leading a dominant 228 of the race's 407 laps. 228 laps, and you don't win the race. Kyle Larson took 3rd in his number 5 Chevrolet for Hendricks Motorsports. Martin Truex, of course, last year's regular season champion, took 4th. Chase Elliott in his number 9 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports took 5th. Christopher Bell, 6th in his number 20 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 7th went to William Byron in his number 24 for Toyota for Hendricks Motorsports. Brad Keselowski, number 8th place in his number 6 Ford for RFK Racing, along with his teammate Chris Boucher in his number 17. And Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 10 in his Toyota for 23 XI Racing. Martin Truex Jr. is your new leader in the NASCAR Cup standings at 270. Kyle Larson is 14 points behind him. Denny Hamlin is 3rd at minus 18, and Ty Gibbs is at minus 34. Ryan Blaney at minus 41. Christopher Bell at minus 51. William Byron at minus 55. Chase Elliott at minus 61. Ross Chastain at minus 63, Tyler Reddick at minus 71, Alex Bowman minus 77, Chris Boucher at minus 85, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, and Brad Keselowski all round out the top 16 as they are each over the centennial mark. They are 100 points behind, but that is okay. Remember, you want to be in the top 16 when it comes time for playoffs. Check out what happened in the Xfinity race. The top 4 cars were all Toyotas, with 3 of them being from Joe Gibbs Racing. This was the Toyota Care 250. So Toyota was dominant in this last race. There was no Craftsman's Truck race this weekend. Chandler Smith led a Joe Gibbs Racing sweep at Richmond Raceway after cruising to a 4.4 second victory over his teammates Eric Almirola and Taylor Gray. It marks back-to-back wins in this race for Smith, answering his first career Xfinity Series last spring, and he led the final 60 laps in his number 81 JGR Toyota. On the day for his 3rd career win, 2nd of the season, it was his teammate Almirola who won both stages and led a race best 95 of the 250 laps. But the former full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver ultimately could not catch him, who pulled away in the closing lap. So it's Toyota, 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 Toyota. Jesse Love came in 5th in his Chevrolet, along with Bubba Pollard and Parker Kligerman for RCR, JR Motorsports, and Big Machine Racing. Austin Hill in his Toyota took 8th for RCR. Sammy Smith in his Chevrolet took 9th, and Cole Custer in the double-aught Ford for Stewart Haas Racing. Chandler Smith is your number 1 racer in the Xfinity Series at 265. Austin Hill is only 10 points behind, So if in the next race coming up, if Austin Hill wins a stage and Chandler Smith does not even place in the top 10, they'll be tied in the next one. Cole Custer's 41 points behind. Jesse Love is 67 points behind. Riley Hurst is 71 points behind. AJ Allmendinger is 80 points behind. Justin Allgaier, 84. Parker Kligerman, 88. Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, Sheldon Creed, and Anthony Alfredo, all in the hundreds, but it's okay. As long as you're in the top 12, you are in the playoffs. Again, no race for the Craftsman Series this week. I guess because it was Easter week, so they'll probably be back next week. All righty, moving on. Zach, we are at the Final Four.
Oh.
The Huskies take on the Crimson Tide. The Boilermakers take on the Wolfpack. Go ahead, Zach. This is your wheelhouse.
I was very, I did pick UConn to win it all. And I also predicted Purdue to make it to the Final Four. Disappointing that I grew up my whole life a Duke fan. So we lost our conference championship game to NC State. Then we lose our Elite Eight game to NC State. They just had our number this season.
Well, I was a little disappointed too. I mean, I was very happy that our hometown residential Tennessee Volunteers got to the Elite Eight. I did have them going all the way. Unfortunately, Purdue said no, that's not going to happen. And look at North Carolina State, the number 11 seed, getting into the Final Four. That's an accomplishment in itself. Of course, since I live in Tennessee, we root against Alabama, so I can't really say Alabama. So my go-to out of these four, I'm going with UConn all the way. I'm the Jerry Lawler when it comes to making picks. I change mid-match. So right. I got to go with the Huskies on this one. And I'll say it's going to be UConn versus North Carolina State. Let's have a battle of the wolves there.
Oh, man. Zach Edey for Purdue is just insane. I mean, he had 40 points, 21 rebounds, and 5 blocks against Tennessee. I mean, that is crazy.
Isn't it, though?
Like, just wait till we get to the women. That's going to be
we can do that right now. We can easily bring up the ladies right now. Let's get that going. There you go. This is a no-brainer. This is going to be Iowa all the way. They're going to have it's going to be a good matchup against UConn. This had better be basket for basket, shot for shot. And I'm going with Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Huskies on this, hands down. South Carolina, they've been dominant all season. That's a given. That's going to be a good matchup, but the marquee matchup, Iowa versus UConn. Iowa goes out on top. They go to the championship match. Then Caitlin Clark again. I don't know how much higher she can go, but she's got everything to gain right here. This is her time to shine.
She utterly dominated LSU on all sides of the ball in the game last night. It was hard to watch. I love Caitlin Clark, and I'm rooting for Caitlin Clark. But, I was kind of rooting for LSU a little bit, But, I mean, look at these two tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
2 schools are in both the men's and the women's Final Four.
Yep, it is a possibility for a sweep. It could happen. The possibilities it's there. UConn could win both. North Carolina State could win both. It can happen.
I learned a fun fact about South Carolina yesterday. Mike, in the last 3 years, they've only lost 3 games.
Wow, amazing.
That's just Wow. The job Dawn Staley has done is just utterly phenomenal.
It is.
I mean,
it truly is. And
you're
I gotta say,
you're going with UConn in Iowa, right?
I'm going Iowa. I'm going with Caitlin Clark. That's I am in the very high 90s that this is going to happen. I mean, unless they just like fall apart or she gets injured, this is her moment. This is what she needs. And then when she gets into the NBA you said it was going to be for the Liberty?
Indiana Fever.
For the Indiana Fever? I will make the earliest of earliest predictions right now. The Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, you've punched your ticket to the playoffs. Hands down. I'm not going to do the James Holhauser all in, and I'm going to say that the Indiana Fever are going to win the WNBA title in 2025. Not just yet. I'll play it safe, and I will say they got a ticket to the playoffs. They've got a golden ticket right there.
Well, what's interesting about that is Aaliyah Boston, who is on Indiana now, played at South Carolina, who played against Caitlin Clark last year in the Final Four. And now when Caitlin gets to the WNBA in a matter of a couple weeks, now those two who played against each other are going to be teammates.
And she's also getting Ice Cube is noticing her. He does some kind of a smaller basketball league. Yep. He wants her to play.
Yeah,
that's money right there.
He offered her a $5 million contract.
That's money right there. She come into the restaurant. Caitlin Clark, sit down at our best table.
Mark Cuban sent an email to Adam Silver. If for people who don't know, Mark Cuban is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Right.
He sent the letter last week to Adam Silver, who's the commissioner of the NBA, if he could pick Caitlin Clark in the NBA draft.
Wow. That'd be
that's sure that would be what this girl is.
That would be that would break the internet in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
More than Beyonce covering Jolene. That would break the internet.
Wait now.
Oh,
producer.
Hey, haven't you heard? I'm free and clear. I can talk about that stuff now.
What would be bigger? Producer? Caitlin Clark getting drafted by the Mavericks or CM Punk's pipe bomb?
Different worlds. Apples and bananas comparison.
Yeah, nice try. You can't compare that.
Yeah, like Punk's thing only really impacted wrestling. It did get coverage beyond our world, but like a woman being actively drafted into the NBA by an NBA team would be next level. What the beep across the sports world.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's comparing apples and bananas at that point.
Indeed.
For me personally, I mean, I have not been a avid basketball person since Jordan retired for the final time. So it wouldn't impact me the way that Punk's promo impacted me. Plus the fact that we were there for that, to be fair. So, as far as the first one, the one in Chicago at the press conference, not so much, but we were on covering it. Yeah, Punk's a whole other animal as far as that goes. But yeah, sports world would be huge, no doubt about it.
And I will, since we brought up CM Punk, I will say this: I think it's almost a slap in the face for him to be doing commentary during the title match.
I disagree. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'll let you have your. We can point counterpoint. We can throw a little bit of wrestling in here without going into all the details. But
yeah,
I mean, the fans in Chicago, they are wrestling fans know, CM Punk fans know. Of course, they want him in the ring. It's just not going to happen just yet. You're just going to have to accept that, But of course his mouth works. We know that. We know he's not going to hold back. If the old man was in charge and things didn't happen, the old man would probably have a heart attack backstage in gorilla position. Let's not wish that on him, but you know that he's going to and it was absolute genius to have last week, and I should have mentioned this last week. It was genius for him to try and get him to say his name. It's like, who named you the chosen one, Drew? Good point on that one.
Well, but again, it's one of those, after watching his interview with Ariel Helwani yesterday, I am of the firm belief that Punk is not in the same mindset he was in 10 years ago when he left. And I'll also add to that I think he is in the same mindset as far as, Dwayne's getting to do Dwayne things. Why am I handcuffed on the air? So he's not when he goes on these appearances, which is why he was able to say exactly what the hell he said yesterday. And he even said during the interview that he would have taken offense to doing commentary or being offered commentary 10 years ago. Now he's like, dude, I still get to be WrestleMania. Like, I'm happy to he is the big G of WWE. He's happy to be there. So I'm happy for the man Phil Brooks that he still gets to be part of WrestleMania this weekend. Because, if you listen to the whole interview, he did talk about that the plan was for him to be in the world title match with Steph. And, it would have been a lot different picture had he not got hurt and had the pivot not had to have happened. So I don't think it's an insult or a concession. It's a matter of, he can't be in the ring, but we can still have him there. We can still have him offering his opinions on these two people that he's clearly going to have a program with when he comes back.
Right, indeed.
So might as well keep his name in their fucking mouths. Unlike Will Smith and his wife, So.
Indeed. All right, let's get back on the rails. Let's bring in the pros with the NBA. What's going on there? We've had 3 more teams punch their tickets into the NBA playoffs. The Boston Celtics, they're in. We know this. They're the number 1 seed. They're going to be dominant as they are. However, apparently, Rondo has decided he don't want to play no more. We'll get to that one in just a second. The Oklahoma City Thunder, the Denver Nuggets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves have clinched their tickets for the top 3 spots in the West. The Bucks are at 47-27, tied with the Clippers. They are ranked number 2 in the East and number 4 in the West. The Dallas Mavericks are number 5 in column 2. Cleveland is 45-30. New Orleans 45-30. New York 44-30. Orlando 44-31. Phoenix 44-31. Sacramento Kings, they are 43-31. Remember, the top 6 teams are locked in. They are guaranteed to be in the playoffs. If you have a 7, an 8, a 9, or a 10, you are in the playoff tournament. ESPN has already announced that the Chicago Bulls, as the number 9 team in the East, they are locked in to play in the play-in. Now, Brooklyn should be reading number 11, not number 12. I messed that up a little bit. That's my mistake on that. The last two teams, Houston and Brooklyn, they are the number 11 teams in the East and the West. There is a typo there, but that's okay. No big thing. If those 2 teams get eliminated before the other teams can clinch, that will then lock in all 10 teams, and then it's just a matter of who finishes where. So once those teams are out, it's pretty much a lock at that point. After that happens, whether they clinch or whether they in, the playoffs will take place. Remember, 7 plays 8, 9 plays 10. The winner of 7 and 8 advance. The loser plays against the winner of 9 and 10. And then you have your 8. Then you have your standard tournament to go into the playoffs. At least we're happy that the defending champion Denver Nuggets, they get a chance to retain their title. And, of course, Dory Lou is happy that her Minnesota Timberwolves have clinched, so we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. I'm more concerned about the Lakers every day. I'm getting a little bit tired of hearing that. I mean, let's face it. The Lakers are an overrated team because of LeBron, but I'm not gonna try and touch that anymore. I'm not predicting an early exit. If they're in the play-in and they don't make it, then they just should have played better, bottom line.
If the playoffs started today, the Timberwolves would face my Pelicans.
Oh, won't that be fun? The rivalry between you and Dory Lou continues because, let's face it, you two have been going at each other for the better part of 3 years.
Yeah.
Be it the football pick'em, the brief fantasy football, be it fantasy hockey, and now your team's going at it whenever it was the Saints versus the Vikings, whenever it's – who are you rooting for in baseball, by the way, since New Orleans doesn't have a team?
I'm a Braves fan.
Okay, there you go. Well, okay, the Braves can play the Twins at some point, so you guys are covered. Unfortunately, the Twins lost to the Brewers just now, 3-2. I'm up 1-0. We'll talk about baseball in just a quick second. I do believe that hockey is next. Yes, hockey is next. So as we always do before we talk about hockey, we play this excellent trailer given to us by the James Hebert Studios. Gary Hebert, 1 in a million.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
I can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better, or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out and separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
Indeed, he is a special, special man. And again, as always, we thank James and Gary Hebert for the production and the use of that great trailer every time before we talk about hockey. So why do I still have the baseball graphic up? I have no idea. So we'll just get rid of that and we'll go to that. All righty. 7 teams have clinched their ticket to the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. The Rangers, the Stars, the Hurricanes, the Bruins, the Canucks, the Avalanche, and the Panthers. They are all in green. They are all guaranteed to be locked in. Remember the format. It'll be the number one, or it'll be the team with the most number of points in the conference taking on the number 2 wild card spot in the conference. 2 versus 3 will be again in the division, and the other number 1 in the division plays the first wild card. So as of right now, the Rangers in the Metropolitan Division and in the Eastern Conference would currently play the Washington Capitals, who hold the second wild card spot in the East. The Hurricanes would play the Flyers, but the Flyers have not yet clinched their playoff spot yet. The Bruins would play the Lightning, and they haven't clinched either. In the West, right now, it would be Dallas taking on currently it would be the Kings, I believe. Yes, that would take place. The Predators would then currently be taking on it'd be the Canucks versus the Kings. Excuse me. The Bruins would take on the Predators. I'll get this right yet. I did not flip my board over, so I'm a little bit frazzled on that. Either way, the Jets are at 96 points. They're the number 3 team in the Central Division and at the bottom of column 1. The Oilers and the Maple Leafs are tied at 95. They are number 2 in the Pacific and number 3 in the Atlantic. The Predators are at 90 points. They currently own the wild card spot in the West. The defending champion Golden Knights are at 90 points. They are the number 3 spot. They have not clinched yet. The Tampa Bay Lightnings are at 89 points. They hold the wild card spot in the East. Kings are at 87. They have the second wild card spot in the West. The Blues are still in the hunt at 84. Flyers are trying to clinch. Capitals own the second spot in the West. Detroit has not been eliminated yet. The Wild have not been eliminated yet. The Islanders have not been eliminated. The Penguins have not been eliminated. The Devils, the Kraken, the Sabres, the Flames, the Senators, and the Canadiens are all still gunning and can still get in as the season winds down. The season only has 2 weeks left. April 18th is the end of the season, so a lot can happen in the next 2 weeks. Yes, I kind of fumbled a little bit, but that's okay. All righty, so where are we going with hockey? Who knows? Who knows, really? It's as long as 7 teams are in, and that only leaves 9 spots left. Columns 1 and columns 2, those will be your playoff teams. Everybody else will be in the red. All righty. Just because football is over does not mean that the UFL can't take over. The UFL started their kickoff this weekend. It's merged, of course, between the USFL and the XFL. It's an 8-team league.
Mikey.
Yes?
He asked very nicely about a plug before football.
Oh, go away.
Okay.
Okay. I missed that. I'm sorry.
You even said okay to it, so now you didn't.
I did. I did.
It's a double botch on a Tuesday.
When does that boy not botch? When he's asleep. The The USFL Conference consists of the Birmingham Stallions, the Houston Roughnecks, the Memphis Showboats, and the Michigan Panthers. The XFL Conference are the Arlington Renegades, the DC Defenders, the San Antonio Brahmas, and the St. Louis Battlehawks. As you can see there, the scores came in. The Stallions beat the Renegades 27-14. The Panthers beat the Battlehawks 18-16. The Brahmas defeated the Defenders. So I guess the Rock has something to be happy about in that matchup, 27-12, and the Showboats beat the Roughnecks 18-12. It is a 10-week season. So at the end of 10 weeks, we have our playoffs, and we'll have inaugural UFL champions. All right, Zach,
hold on. Did you see any of the games this weekend?
Sadly, no. I was working this weekend, but what do you got?
I like the Defenders. You know, when they were in the XFL, I was a Defenders fan. The Brahmas, they were just doing all kinds of just read pass options, and they even threw a fake punt for a touchdown.
You can do that?
Yes.
Excuse me.
But it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Good alternative. I like it.
Whew. What's your plug?
Ho. So
ahead.
what I play competitive Madden, and as some of you know on Pat McAfee's show, Pat McAfee showed the world that Madden gave him a card as an April Fool's joke that they do every year. But Pat McAfee has a card, and I reached out, got Pat to agree to play me in a game of Madden using his card for his YouTube following. So later on
this
tonight,
is legit.
Huh?
This is legit. You're actually going to play Madden against the Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
And where's this going to stream?
So we're going to record it tonight, and he said it should be out sometime Thursday afternoon after editing and all that other good shit.
Are you going to be able to talk to him or anything?
Yes. We're going to be talking crap back and forth to each other.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been playing Madden competitively for about 4 years now. So I get a chance every so often to play like major stars. The biggest game I played was against Jeff's boy. I got to play 2 years ago against Micah Parsons, and that was just not fun.
Jeff is and he's my boy because
he's your star linebacker for your team.
Oh, for Cowboy. Okay, I'm like I like Pat McAfee I got, but yeah, I didn't think about the Cowboys.
All right.
I'm in WrestleMania mode, brother. I got nothing.
Oh, I've got something to say about Pat McAfee.
Well, it's one of those if it's being recorded and being streamed, dude, we can definitely throw up some like highlight clips during Mania weekend if you want, Zach. Like I'm fucking whatever, you know.
I'm actually, but no. Here's my thing. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I like the guy. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
He's funny on. You might have to give me a single shot and a rant ticker on this one.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Just remember, Zach's working with this guy like today.
It's all out of respect.
Okay.
Okay. I like the guy. He's funny. He's great on commentary. He's got a great show. It's a similar format. But you do not call out the Scrap Daddy, Adam Pierce, on Twitter as a stooge. That's where I'm drawing the line. Adam Pierce is one of the most respected wrestlers that have not stepped foot in a WWE ring even though he might have had a gimmick match a long time ago. He is a legend. And to call him a stooge for not trying to stop Rhea Ripley from taking out Becky Lynch last night, you made a mistake on that, sir. And I hope Adam Pearce calls you out on Monday Night Raw at some point to have a nice little talk in the ring. Now, I will give you some points. It was nice of you to have the crowd sing happy birthday to Michael Cole. That was nice. But you do not cross Adam Pearce. I would have learned that the hard way if I messed up his robe that one time, which is the best moment I ever had. Thank you.
I mean, not to defend Pat, it's really not Pat's fault that they book Adam to look so soft. That's all I'll say.
Well,
which is why Mikey's getting this graphic.
I would love to be called out by Pat McAfee. Hey, maybe I mean, he might have made this might be his first mistake that I've ever caught him do. He's not a bad person, unlike Stephen A.
I knew you were going to say it.
I'll call him P-Mac. He's funny. He's got a show. I watch his show. I'm a fan of his and all that, but just don't mess with Adam Pearce. Just don't. Good luck against your match against him. I'll be rooting for you, and I can't wait to see the feed and find out what happens. I mean, and if there's other things he wants that comes of it, hey, more power to you, brother. Good for it. Go for it. Good luck with that. You got this. This is all good for you. All right. Final thing on tap before we go with the shills and everything else. Baseball is back. This opening week is pretty much done. We're going into week 2 of the MLB season. And let's bring that up. And there we go. This is, of course, the graphics need to come in. This was done at the last minute. The Pirates and the Yankees are two teams that are undefeated. They are ranked 1 and 2. Power rankings for the sports bar go by record, not by percentage. In some cases, the Dodgers are lower ranked than the Tigers because the Tigers are 4-0. They're undefeated. But I like to say it that they all have the same amount of wins, but the Dodgers have lost twice, so that's why they are in third place at 5-2. Of course, the other two teams that are undefeated are the Tigers at 4-0 and the Brewers are at 3-0. The Braves, the Orioles, the Rangers, and the Reds are all tied at 3-1. It goes by runs. So the Braves have 34 runs. The Orioles are at 31. The Rangers are at 29, and the Reds are at 26. The Diamondbacks and the Guardians and the Red Sox and the Mariners are at 3-2. Diamondbacks have the lead at 34 runs. Guardians at 33, Red Sox at 23, Mariners at 15, and the Padres are at 3-4. The Twins are at 2-1. The Cubs now the Twins are at 2-2 because they just lost to the Brewers. The Cubs are at 2-2, tied with my Angels at 2-2 as well. Angels didn't start the season off very well. Mike Trout did hit a home run in the first game, but unfortunately the Orioles said, no, that's not going to happen. Orioles are currently playing the Royals right now. They're down 3-0, top of the second. Giants are 2-3. Cardinals are 2-3. Blue Jays are 2-3. Tampa Bay are 2-3. When all three teams have scored the same number of runs, it goes by the number of runs given up. The Cardinals have given up less, so they have a slight advantage over the Blue Jays and the Rays. Nationals, Royals, and Phillies are at 1-3. Astros, Rockies, and Athletics are at 1-4. I think there has been a new lease offered to the Oakland Athletics. I do need to look in on that. I have not heard anything new about the team moving to Las Vegas yet, but I have to do my homework on that one. The Mets, the White Sox, and the Marlins have not yet won a game this season. Also, what I'd like to announce is that I've started a FanDuel account. And so I'm getting into the world of sports betting, especially when it comes to baseball. First, let me tell everybody, if you cannot afford to sports bet, don't sports bet. Only bet what you can afford. Trust me, I have done this many times where I have lost paychecks, I have lost tips, I have spent money that I just did not have. My Renegade and producer Meacham can attest to this, and Pop can attest to this. It was bad. I was losing money left and right. So if you do have a problem, of course, the well-known Gamblers Anonymous hotline is 1-800-GAMBLER. Call that number if on anybody. I'm being dead serious about that. Don't do it. Basically, what I did, I took 10 simple little dollars. I put them in the FanDuel account, and on the very first day, I picked 10 baseball games, and I bet $1 per game. If the game wins, I collect the profit. If it loses, I lose $1. Luckily, on the first day, out of my 10 possible picks, I got 6 right. I made a small profit. I'm going to start out very small. I'm not going to go all in on anything. Day 2, same scenario, 10 games. Another win, 6 out of 10. Yesterday was day 3. I broke even, 5 out of 10. I have 10 more bets in today. Again, I'm only betting $1 a game. If the profits go up, I take my total, I divide that by 10. I'm putting like $1.15, $1.20. If it goes higher and higher, if I don't want to put a $5 bet down, I will cash out. It's that simple. Also, what FanDuel does is they allow you to cash out your bet depending on how far the game is in. So, for example, if I do have a bet on KC and Baltimore, right now Baltimore is losing 3-0. They can offer me kind of like a settlement, like a smaller payout to cover your losses. I did that once on one game. There was a profit involved, but again, it's all pennies. Also in baseball, so we'll keep you updated on that one. I'll put my results on Twitter and anything like that. Of course, in baseball also, the strike zone is becoming more and more problematic, especially to the fans on social media. Again, if you've ever watched a baseball game on television, you know where the strike zone is. It's a giant rectangle between the numbers and the knees. And every time the umpire gets it wrong, or you see that the ball is outside the strike zone, and it's supposed to be a ball, but the ump calls it a strike, or other way around, social media explodes. There are tons of fans on Twitter and Instagram that are like, we need robot umpires. Okay, here's where the conversation comes into play. Zach, will an umpire being played, or will a robot umpire help out the league?
No.
Why not?
It's just not the same.
Okay, keep going with this. Come on, we got to.
I mean, it's not like putting a real life reality right in front of you. It's a robot who
can be objective and call balls and strikes without having to have bias and have eyesight be one way or the other.
Right.
That's why it should be okay. Having humans out in the field is a little bit, and even that I would try to find a way. But again, it's going to be the endless debate. I feel that there are far too many dipshit umpires to be allowed to be behind the plate. Sorry, God, this freaking spring cold is kicking my ass. Oh God, there it is again. Son of a bitch.
Bless you.
The worst fucking umpire in the history of sports. Hate that fucking dude. Anyway, God, he's awful. Anyway, behind the plate, I think should be. Thank you, Walter. Should be at least robot or computerized, however you want to do it. But then how do you implement it into the field, like when they're calling people out at second or first or third or whatever? So it's going to be the endless debate. And yes, you can hack the computer. Yes, you can program it if you're in Vegas and if you've got that kind of technology and the ability to manipulate technology. But
that's going to be the same if you keep the human in there, because clearly there are some umpires that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh man.
Boy, Jeff, you might need to go see a doctor.
I am getting so sick. It's so bad with my son's birthday coming up this week in WrestleMania.
I
God,
know.
I gotta go to the doctor. You know what?
I'll get the Benadryl off the cabinet. I'm on my
Maybe
way.
I should have my eyesight checked while I'm there and hoping to run into Angel. Anyway. Whoopsie doodle. Anyway, I don't give a fuck anymore.
So then here's the next question.
Yes.
Should the third strike call be challenged, if that's a possibility?
If it's close enough.
But how is close enough defined? Is that objective or is it subjective? That's the thing.
Well, I mean, if the coach sees that the ball is, if the coach sees that his player is yelling at the umpire, obviously he's going to go out there and defend his player, and then he should be able to throw the flag and say, "Hey, take another look at it." So then the umpire can see what we, the fans, are seeing and say, "Okay, based off of what I'm seeing, I missed the call. Let's reverse it."
Well, but then you run. Okay, see that's where everything comes into play, because not only do you have the influence of Major League Baseball, the overseeing overlords, not only do we have television and networking going, these games are long, people are tuning out, we need to go even longer, as Walter's pointed out in the chat room. There's just so many factors into this, and the problem is we live in a world now where everything is going to be debated. There is no right or wrong. There is no universal okay. Everything has a reason why it's the worst idea in the history of the world at the end of the day. Fortunately, that's just the way of things.
And honestly, I mean, I don't see that a challenge will actually make the game longer since the pitch clock in scenario has been shortened, so it almost should balance everything out.
Well, but that's the thing. The pitch count has slowed the game, has sped the game up. But if you have these challenges, it's going to balance out, and we're back where we were 2 years ago. We're sitting here for 4 hours when it should be 2.5 hours. If we're lucky.
Yeah, especially if we're throwing NFL flags on the field.
It's the unfortunate thing is, humans are humans, and there's going to be those days where the umpire's just having a bad day, whether it's a bad umpire or not, makes a bad call. But then, you get into the semantics of, if this guy's having a bad day, he shouldn't be going to work. It's like, well, yeah, but he's got to get paid. As a professional, he should be able to just suck it up and just get out there and do his fucking job. So,
story of my life.
I wasn't going there with you, Michael.
I know you weren't.
Okay.
All righty.
Anyway,
good talk, good show. That's everything I've got on tap.
Go ahead, Zach. You're totally talking.
NFL rule when it comes to challenges now.
Zach, you majorly rewrote because of where you are. Say that again.
Did you see the NFL rule, the new rule with challenges?
No. I missed it. What is it?
So if you win your first 2 challenges, you get the third challenge.
Sure.
But if you win that third challenge, you get another one.
So you can keep winning challenges?
Now. But I think it's capped at 4.
I don't want to do sports worlds anymore. Anyway.
Me neither.
All right. So since I was we actually pretty close to being off the air before No DQ started the prediction show, so that was pretty cool too.
That's even better.
Almost. I mean, they're 36 minutes in, but we'll go ahead and do our thing real quick here. So of course, the watch along start Thursday. God help us. Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, Raw after Mania on Monday. That damn banner out of the way. There we go. Again, we start with Bloodsport from Josh Barnett and GCW, Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, the Hall of Fame, Stand Deliver, both nights of WrestleMania, the same at 7 o'clock our time because WWE hates me. Raw after Mania, but then the prediction shows, including today, we have 2 separate episodes of Something Predicting WrestleMania with Noah and the gang. Tomorrow, the Greg Cherry Show will feature Greg, Cherry, Maddie Laws, and Ella J as their guest. Simply Predicting and Stand Deliver will be following the Greg Cherry Show. Thursday will be my predictions for everything coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And then Friday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, Simply Predicting for Ring of Honor, Super Honor starts off our Friday of 4 back-to-back streams. We've got Simply Predicting that day for Ring of Honor. We've got the Dad's Top 10 WrestleMania female-centric championship matches, and we have our watch-alongs of Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame. So if you come to us Friday after noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, you're going to catch something. That's it. That's really it. We'll be back here Tuesday at our regular time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific.
Exactly. After everything that has happened with WrestleMania week, and we'll just keep going with the sports. Thank you, everybody who watched in all 100. I see the 100 people.
Yep.
We broke the centennial mark. I cannot be happier with that. Until next week, enjoy WrestleMania. Yes, Zach, you ready for WrestleMania? Because I know I am.
Oh, yeah.
He's ready. Great. Remember, Simply Predicting coming up in less than an hour. And then please watch this weekend and support and super chat and comment and follow us and everything. You guys know what to do. Have a great week. Be safe. I love you all. Stat Boy out.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.